Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Ant Talk, the weekly comic conversation. So, I just saw Marvel's new movie, Doctor Strange, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Tilda Swinton, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Rachel McAdams, and Mads Mikkelsen, and directed by Scott Derrickson. So, the latest movie from Marvel about a brilliant neurosurgeon who's very arrogant, very full of himself, selfish, very narcissistic, and not a very good all-around guy in general, who on one tragic night in a bad car accident severely injures his hands, making it impossible for him to continue his career as a neurosurgeon. So desperately he searches for a treatment, cure, anything experimental that could possibly help him to recover and continue on with his life. This is how he ends up meeting the Ancient One, who can teach him things he never thought possible in our reality. So what did I think about Marvel's latest adaptation of one of their beloved comic book characters? To be honest, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I thought it was pretty good. There's a lot to like about this movie. Starting with the most obvious, if you go see this movie, one thing that you will not be able to deny is the visuals. This movie has absolutely stunning visuals, possibly Marvel's best yet, and some of the things you see in this movie will blow your mind. I highly recommend if you go see this, you see it in 3D or even IMAX. Trust me, it's worth it. A lot of times 3D sucks, but this movie will benefit if you see it in 3D, trust me. Right now, I'm not talking any spoilers, so no spoilers for now, but overall, I think one of the most obvious things you'll notice if you watch this movie is how different it is from any of the other films in the MCU. And I think that's actually a pretty good thing. I really like seeing them branch out into this very different world or idea or premise, I guess. It's very different from our last movie we saw, Civil War, which I think was Marvel's best movie to date. That's just my opinion. But Doctor Strange was such a different take, and I thought it was actually really refreshing. Yes, it's a very by-the-books origin story, but very accurate to the comic books overall, and I think you'll notice a lot of similarity between this and the first Iron Man. You might think that's a bad thing, that's really your opinion, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Aside from that, I really think it's its own movie. And like I said, has a very different feel. It has quite a bit of humor in it, actually a lot more than I thought it would. I think the humor is really the only thing that makes this movie seem like a Marvel movie. Take out all the humor and I don't think it feels like a Marvel movie at all. But I'm glad it is in that it feels different. I think that's a good thing. I think that's cool. It's really good to see Doctor Strange on the big screen finally, but I don't think this movie could have came right away in the beginning in phase 1 or anything like that. I think like with the success of Guardians and the success of Ant-Man, Marvel proved they can make a movie about anything as long as it's good and it can be successful, and Doctor Strange is no exception, and I feel like they really took advantage of what this character is and what they could do with him, and they really did him justice. And obviously the writers and artists who've done him over the years. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. What really stands out in this film is the performances. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch, he is Doctor Strange, he is Stephen Strange, he plays this dude so perfectly. He has such a charisma on screen. I think he demands your attention when you watch this movie. I think they really did a good job of focusing in on him and his character and his transition from, who he is at the beginning to where he ends up at the end of the movie. I think it did a really good job with that. I think Tilda Swinton is a standout in this movie as the Ancient One. She does a really good job, I thought. Anytime she's in a scene, she kind of steals it, or at least, really shares it with Cumberbatch. And they really shine in this movie. But this is a great cast, and I think they all do good. I think Ejiofor does a really good job as Baron Mordo, and Rachel McAdams. She doesn't get a whole lot of screen time, but with what she has and the purpose she serves for the character of Doctor Strange, I think she does a good job, and obviously Mads Mikkelsen does a good job in his performance as the villain. Now that I've mentioned the villains, what I must say about that is I'll agree with what I think a lot of people are going to say, is that this villain is like a lot of the other Marvel villains, where he doesn't have a lot to his motivations and stuff, and he's not the deepest character, even though I think Mikkelsen does a really good job in his performance, and his character in Doctor Strange actually has some pretty good back and forth. And overall, I thought, like I said, he did good, but I can definitely see where people are coming from. But I didn't think he was that bad either. I think he's somewhere in the middle, and there's a lot more to this movie than just him. Plus, they have to focus on Strange a lot, which they do, and I think the movie really benefits from that for sure. Like I said, the visuals are amazing, but I also like the action scenes and how they were able to use the magic in combative ways. I thought that was creative, and I thought this movie had some pretty good choreography mixed in there. I really like the look and the feel of this movie. And it's only about a 2-hour movie. I thought it flew by, really. Part of that is they didn't really dwell on, the introduction or the beginning. The story really got going, and I like that. I really don't have a lot of negative things to say about this movie. Like I said, there was quite a bit of humor in it. Nothing was unfunny, or everything seemed to work pretty well for me. I just thought maybe, a couple less jokes maybe. And there was a scene I kind of thought was a little contrived. Maybe I'll bring it up in spoilers, but really not too much for me to knock on. The villain didn't bother me so much. I just really like the feel and the look, and I like the whole idea of Doctor Strange. It's good seeing him on the big screen. Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing as Doctor Strange, as well as everybody else in this movie. I think I'm going to go see it again for sure. I recommend you go see it. And I'm really glad to see Marvel take this direction. I think it is a different tone, though. It is going to be interesting to see how it connects to the rest of the Marvel universe. It really didn't do a lot in this movie to connect it too much, but I don't have any doubt in them. I have all the faith in the world they'll figure it out and make it awesome and make really great movies from now on. I can't wait to see the sequel, and I can't wait to see Doctor Strange show up in the Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, I really enjoyed Doctor Strange, and I highly recommend it. It's a little different from your average superhero movie, but definitely keeps that same spirit. Go check it out. That's my review of Doctor Strange. This is Ant Talk, the weekly comic conversation. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you later.